At the time these crimes initially occurred, they didn't really know what they were dealing with. But in retrospect, we now have identified and arrested 3, and then in addition to that, the remaining 19 are the work of, we know, at least 3, possibly 6 other serial offenders.
You owe much of the information in the book to an OPP police officer, this man right here.
Dennis Alsop, that's right.
How important was his documentation to your research?
It's extraordinarily important. He took the time to diligently document his thoughts, his hunches, his findings, things that could be acted on. His son then gave them to me, knowing my work at the university with respect to unsolved homicides.
Let's talk about one of the alleged killers that you document in the book, a man you only identify as the neighbor.
He was the neighbor of the first victim, Frankie Jensen, in February 1968. There's no question in looking at Dennis's documents that the neighbor was responsible. After the first murder, he murdered a neighboring boy. He then targeted a second boy in the London area, within the census metropolitan area. Dennis effectively was not given the go-ahead to make an arrest. Dennis stays on him, conducts surveillance on his own time, never really gives him any breathing room, so he leaves town.
In 75, we have a 5-year-old Tracy Bruni in Etobicoke. 81, we have Eric Lars Folk in the company of his best friend John McCormack. Neither bodies have ever been found, and you believe that this is all connected to the man that he referred to as the neighbor.
We then see 4 remarkably similar murders in terms of MO and signature in the Toronto area, immediately within the vicinity of where he was living at the time after moving from London.
And while these lives are being taken here in Toronto, Constable Aslop is trying to sound the alarm.
In the book, there's a very chilling document that's sent to his higher-ups in Toronto saying, listen, London is under siege by at least, and he refers to them as sexual psychopaths. There is no evidence that there was any response. Fell on deaf ears, and really the city was left to its own devices, with him as the sole person chasing these killers.
Why London? What about that city of just around 200,000 people made it possible for 6 serial killers to be operating in that town?
There's something about the design of the city, and it's sort of being circumscribed with these very remote, isolated areas. And this is in part why Dennis Alsop inherited all these cases, is that even victims taken, abducted, and murdered in some cases inside the city who were disposed of outside the city.
What impact do you think these murders had on that town and southern Ontario in general?
One of the positive legacies is the creation of the Block Parent Program. It began in London as a result of what was going on. Children walking to or from school who felt in danger could look for this sign in a home's window. Someone who'd be around during the day and who could allow that home to function as sanctuary for those children. It was remarkably innovative. Imagine how scary life would have been on a day-to-day basis.
And it's a story about a cop that, if he would have been listened to a little more when he was trying to sound these alarms, lives could have been saved right here in Toronto.
And really that sort of is another subtext of the book, is this clash between the cop and management. And it's a story that remains the same today. And I think there's something in there for everyone of every rank in policing to learn from.